All right, so chapter 1 is all about whole numbers. So whole numbers usually is not the issue in this class. That's just 1, 2, 3, 4, negative. No, we don't even get to negative yet. Whole numbers are just positive whole numbers. Section 1, 2, what we're going to be doing is first making sure we feel good about place value. So if you'll notice here, we start with the ones, tens, hundreds, and then notice there's a bold line there, and then we go thousands, and that's where your commas would go, right? Remember, every 3 is where you put the comma. This is something that I didn't learn until I actually started teaching, that those chunks of 3 are actually called periods. Okay, so the hundreds are called periods, the thousands are called periods, and so forth, all right? So your first couple problems on here are going to mimic what you see on my math lab. So they gave us 3 numbers in which we want to find where the 8 is, and once we find the 8, we have to say what place value it's in, okay? And the reason why this is important is because when you get into higher level math, they're going to want you to start rounding, like to the nearest thousands. So you have to know what the thousands is in order to round there. So do you guys agree that 8's right here? And if you need to use this chart, feel free to use that chart. Or I just kind of count hundreds, thousands, and where does this land us? The millions. Is that all right? And like I said, it's stuff that we've seen before. They just want to make sure we're 100% on it. All right, 8 here. Where's the 8 located there? Let's start. So this is 100, exactly. So ones, tens, hundreds, okay? Is that all right? And then find your 8 on number 3. 10,000s, yep. And again, feel free to use this up here if you need to. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 n, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 n. That's 10,000s. Or you know that we do ones, tens, hundreds. Well, you do thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Everything kind of mimics itself. So this is the 10,000s, and we're going to hyphenate that, okay? Again, in real life, are you going to be walking around the street and someone will be like, what's this place value? No. But what you're going to do is as you move on to higher level math, rounding is so important. And they're going to tell you what spot to round to. So you need to know what that spot is. All right? Let's look at the bottom here. This is one where we're going to write numbers into words. Okay? Actually, I wonder if I can turn it this way because I feel like I don't. It's going to slide. Make it go this way. Sorry, guys. All right. So we write numbers into words. Again, unless you're writing checks, you're not really doing this a whole lot, but you want to be able to recognize it because when you get into higher level math, you're going to be reading these word problems and so forth, and if a number starts a sentence, guess what? How it has to be written? In words. And so we want to make sure we feel comfortable with it. Basically, my number one thing, I think a lot of you guys can read it and say it, but as you say it, hyphenate. So like the tens digit, we hyphenate. So like this is 54, so 54 is hyphenated. That's like 78, so that's hyphenated and so forth. And what's crazy is when I say it, I actually don't even say it correctly, and I'll show you when we get there. Like number 5, I don't say it correctly, so we want to make sure we're okay. So read it. What is that? 54. So just write that and make sure there's a hyphen between the 50 and the 4, okay? Is that all right? So I would just kind of say it out loud first, and then like, okay, how do I write that down? Number 5 is what I'm talking about. I say 678. Does anybody say it like that? We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to use the word and. So this is just 678. And so write 600 and then hyphenate 78. And you almost have to write small because these words, like especially this next one, number 6, like I'm going to have to write it down here because there's like hardly any room. All right, so on number 6, again, how would you say it out loud? 93 what? 1,000 and then 205. Isn't that just seem weird? Does anybody else say 205 like me? Okay, so we're just basically taking all the ands out, all right? So we're going to have, and I'm going to write it down here, 93, bless you, is hyphenated, 1,000. And since that's the end of a period, you know how they have a comma after 93? Guess what we're going to have in our words? A comma after 93. Is that all right? Can you see that? 93,000. What do we say? 205? So unless you're doing like the double digits, like 68, 78, 54, that's where the hyphen is. So like 93 was hyphenated, but 205, there's no hyphen there. All right, so look at this guy. I actually have to write like 2 lines to make it fit. We're in the, I should be pointing here because they can't see me, right? 100, thousands, millions, right? So what is this? 679,430,105. That's a lot. And anytime you go from millions to thousands, we have commas there. So what did we say this was? 679 is hyphenated, and that's in the million spot. Somebody watching a video, do you guys hear that through the wall? What class is that? We gotta get in on that, right? 679 million, and I don't know why I put an S there, it's just million. And I'm gonna put a comma. 430,000. I'm in your way, sorry. So we have 679 hyphenated million, 430,000, I'm going to put a comma. And then right below it down here, what did we say we had? 105. And I know this isn't ideal recording because I'm kind of blocking stuff, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run for you guys to have these videos. All right? Is that okay, guys? And like I said, I think just saying it out loud first and taking away any ands, and then you'll have it. And it's important. I honestly think the other direction is more important. I think being able to read it and change it to a number is more important than this direction, writing it. Like, I don't want to be writing a check for that much. Right? I want a check written like that to me, you know, so hopefully I never have to write that in words.
That would be nice.
Right? Are there any questions on the front page? All right, so that's exactly what the next thing's going to have us do, guys, is they're going to give us a number, and we have to write it in standard form. So standard form is kind of a hidden vocabulary word. Standard form is just the way you expect to see a number, okay? So that's just the normal number. And like I said, this direction is a lot more important because we're going to be reading stuff. Does anybody know if they have to take statistics? Does anybody know yet? It's the best class. If you can take it, take Math 145. But a lot of times they're going to be giving you these word problems, and so the sentence starts with a number, and so it's written like this. So 37 is not too bad. Can we all write 37, okay? Does that look all right? 37. It just gets tricky when you get to like these bigger ones and you don't know if a zero needs to be somewhere, okay? 212, is that okay for everyone? 200 is going to be in that third spot and then 12 is right behind it. Does that look right? All right, 8,000, and then since there's a comma there, we know we'll have a comma in our number. And then 274. So far they haven't been mean to us where we had to put 0 for a placeholder, right? So we'll have, what do we have? 8, a comma, and then 200 will be there. 74 will be in the 10s and the 1s. Does that look all right? And then is this one hard? Okay, so this one I think is like one of the harder ones. 5,057,026. There's actually 2 zeros in that one. Did you guys get that? Okay. So 5 million will be our first number. And then we know we have the 100,000s, 10,000s, and 1,000s, but it only gave us the 10s and the 1s, right? So what do we have to put in the 100,000 spot? 0. Is that all right there? And then the same thing with 26. We want 26 on the end, but there's nothing. We have to have a placeholder for our hundreds. Does that look okay? And sometimes I say, well, write down what you think and then backtrack to see if you're missing something. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the number one thing. I think a lot of us just think we have to write the right answer right off the bat. I'm like, oh no, don't do that. Write it down, like, oh, this is wrong, I need a 0 here, or whatever it may be. Are there any questions there? Phew, okay. So, this one is expanded form. There's not a whole lot on it, but expanded form is breaking it by place value, breaking it up by place value. And it's kind of awkward. There's multiple reasons why we need to be able to do this. If you're going maybe into elementary education, it's one way how you show how to add or subtract. It gives you the whole idea of place value, really, okay? So we have 4,026,301. Is everyone okay with that? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the leftmost, which was 4 million, and you literally write just 4 million, okay? So how do you write 4 million? It's a 4 with 6 zeros behind it. So what you do is you take that first number, count how many place values are behind it, and put that many zeros. Is that all right? Then we put plus. We don't need to do anything for the 0, but then we're going to do it for the 2, right? And that 2 is in the tens of thousands. So we have 20,000. But again, just pull that 2 and say I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots behind it. So I need a 2 with 4 zeros behind it. So I'm going to write 20,000. You see how we're just pulling each place value down? See how I'm doing that? So then what am I going to do for the 6? 3 zeros behind it, yep. Because he's in the thousand spot, right? So I have how many thousands? I have 6,000. So that's kind of how we're saying it. The 3 will be what? 300. And then we don't need to do the 10. You don't need to do zeros, all right? And then what do we have to have? Plus 1. And if you've done it correctly, you should be able to line it up vertically, and when you add all those elements, you should get your original number, okay? It's literally just pulling each place value and putting zeros behind it. Is that all right? So that was expanded form. Breaking up by place value, all right? Because they'll have some that they'll say, okay, write in standard form, which is your normal number, and then some expanded form. All right, this is everyone's favorite most part. If your whole test every day could just have charts on it, you guys would all be A+ students, okay? So we have a chart. It's based on the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics medal count, and it's just going to ask us some questions. So it says, use the 2008 Summer Games table to answer each question. How many bronze medals did Great Britain win during the 2008 Summer Olympic Games? So where are we going to go? It's kind of hard to read, guys. But this is Great Britain, and then we have gold, silver, bronze. So what is that, 15? I think you guys can almost read it better than I can there. Is that all right? And what we're going to do, what did you say? With word problems like this, there's usually a unit or a label, right? 15 what? 15 donuts? No, what did they win? 15 bronze medals. So try to get in the habit of that. And that's one of my pet peeves with my math lab, okay? My math lab will have a blank, and I'll have bronze medals typed for you, and you just fill in the 15. So you're not really practicing labels when you do my math lab, which I don't really like. So I try to kind of slap you on the hand when you're doing worksheets. I don't necessarily count off, but I'll circle, okay, make sure you have a label there. Don't forget about that. All right, which countries won more than 90 medals? So what are we gonna have to do? Oh, no, they did it for us. They have the total already for us? Well, that was nice of them. Okay. And notice it's more than 90, so if we had exactly a country that earned exactly 90, we wouldn't include it, because it didn't say 90 or more, it said more than 90. So what do we have? U.S. and China. Is that it?
Yes.
Is that okay?